So last few classes we have been discussing about the models, hybrid model, the transistor model, using the RE analysis and so on. In today's tutorial, okay, I have planned a problem on hybrid parameters, a derivation on voltage divider bias for RE model, then a problem again on the amplifier using this RE transistor model, and then one more small topic, a Miller. In the last class, we did discuss that we have small signals and we have large signals. And in case of small signals, uh, we can do the modeling using hybrid parameters or the RE model. So in case of hybrid model, okay, we'll just revise. This is how the transistor is drawn. Okay, there are three terminals: collector, base, emitter. Notation is Q. This is NPN transistor. You have to always specify when it comes to experiments, practicals, what is the specification number. Fine. Maybe say BC107 or and we have to also mention the beta of the transistor. Now this beta value is also the current gain HFE, which is mentioned in the data sheets. And practically you can check this out using a multimeter. Fine. Now, in case of hybrid model, there are two cases. One is complete hybrid model, and the second one is approximate hybrid model. In case of complete hybrid model, we have a resistor HIE, then we have the voltage source, which is denoted as HRE. Now, why this E is used here? Because we are using it as a common emitter configuration, and this is the configuration which uses the maximum, power gain as compared to common base or common collector circuit. So when we design any amplifier, you'll find we make use of common emitter configuration. Next, we have a constant current source. This is denoted as HFE into the input current IB, and we have a resistor here given by a reciprocal of admittance 1 by HOA. Now this is HRE into VCE. What is VCE? Is the voltage across these two terminals. Simple thing, okay? And input voltage will be VBE here, and this is the emitter which is connected to ground. Now typically these values are HIE is, I will list in the next problem. HIE is 2640. Okay, the standard values I'll take. HIE is 1200 ohms. HRE is 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 4. HFE, it varies. Okay, now we'll take it as 100. And HOE is say 10 to the power minus 6 Siemens. Okay, now this value HRE is 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 4, and then it is a product of HRE into VCE. And what is VCE? VCE is the voltage across collector terminal and emitter terminal. Okay, this is the voltage VCE, and typically it can go up to 6 volt or 7 volt depending upon our design. So 6 or 7 volt multiplied by 10 to the power minus 4, so this becomes a negligible value. Fine. Similarly, HOE is 10 to the power minus 6. So when I take 1 by 10 to the power minus 6, what I get is 1 mega ohms. So this will act as an open circuit, meaning the current will not try to pass through this path because it is offering very high resistance. So when we draw the approximate model, okay, we can ignore or we can neglect these two terms. Okay, so the model is simplified as HIE. Okay, I can move this register over here. Does not make difference to the circuit operation. And here I'm having HFE IB. Okay, this is the approximate model. The current is I into B, which is reflected here. And again, this will be the input voltage VBA, and this is VCE, output voltage. Now, in case of RE model that we have discussed in the last class, the common emitter, for a common emitter configuration, we have a resistor and a dependent current source and a resistor. This is denoted as RO. This is denoted as beta IB. The current in the input circuit is IB, and here this value of resistance is beta plus 1 times RE. Okay, now this is our model for a transistor in common emitter configuration. This is the models. Now with this basic understanding, we'll move on to the numerical. Now here is a straightforward problem. Fine. A transistor has following parameters in a common emitter circuit. All these values are mentioned from the data sheet. What is the voltage amplification of the transistor and how many decibels gain is this? Okay, before that, we'll take up the derivation for RE model, because this is a very simple problem. In fact, two problems we'll solve today. So now the topic that I'm going to take up is RE model for voltage divider bias. This is the important topic, because you see, when we design any electronic circuit, or when you come across any electronic amplifier, 99% of the time you're going to have this circuit, fine, with the voltage divider biasing. And you know why biasing is used. We have discussed it 2-3 times. So first, start with a transistor. The biasing resistors R1, R2, RC, because it is connected to the collector. This is emitter resistor because it is connected to the emitter terminal. We have to always encircle the transistor. Here at the input, we have the capacitor C1 and C2. Okay, the signal DC voltage is VCC, and we have to have a bypass capacitor CE here. Okay, now the load is connected across the collector and ground. This is the load. So output is taken from here. And what is output? Whenever current is passing through this resistor, it will drop a voltage across it, isn't it? That is the output. And the signal is applied here with the source resistance RS, with a voltage source polarity plus and minus. Now, the first thing is, when we draw the equivalent circuit, two conditions are to be taken into consideration. The first condition is that all the DC voltages should be connected to ground, okay, meaning make it 0, and short all the capacitors. So when I short this capacitors, okay, so it is as good as piece of wire. Now, thing you need to notice here is, when I short the resistor, with a wire, parallel wire, then the current will have the tendency to pass through this wire rather than this resistor. So there won't be any signal getting dropped or observed across this register. So this register has no part to play as far as AC signal is concerned. I hope this is clear. The reactance, meaning the resistance of the capacitor, is given as 1 upon 2 pi Fc. As the frequency is more, the reactance, the resistance offered by the capacitor is less and less. So at signal frequency, it is treated to be as a short circuit. So there was no problem here. I can directly place a short here. I can place a short here. But what about this capacitor? The moment I place a short here, the current passing here has two ways to go, either through resistor or a direct path. So it will always travel to a path which offers a less resistance. So there won't be any AC signal voltage getting dropped across this resistor. Fine. So this has no role to play. Next, all the DC voltages should be connected to ground. So this VCC will be connected to ground. So this point, the second terminal of R1 and RC will be connected to ground. In other words, so there will be a break in the wire. Now let us draw the circuit. The first thing is we have to draw the equivalent circuit of the transistor. So in case of RE model, we have this is denoted as represented as beta plus 1 times RE and a constant current source, a dependent current source having a value beta IB and R naught. Okay. Now what we have drawn here is simply this transistor. Okay. Now you see at this base, this is the base. Here this is collector and this terminal is emitter. So we have to mark base, emitter and collector. These are the three terminals. So this completes my modeling for only the transistor part. Okay. This is just a transistor. So now you see here, when I flip this R1 down, because the ground point is a common wire here, see, a ground is always common. So this, when I say ground, so this terminal will be instead connected to this point. So what you see ultimately, R1 is in parallel with R2. So here in this case, initially we had R2. Now what I'm doing is I'm just flipping that resistor back. Okay, and this will be the R1. So what you see here, R1 is in parallel with R2. So to simplify, rather than drawing two the resistors here, let us combine the two. Here you see R1 is in parallel with R2. Let us represent it as R prime. So this is R prime. What is R prime? R prime is parallel combination of R1 and R2, which is nothing but R1, R2 upon R1 plus R2. Next, this capacitor is shorted. So we have RS and VS as it is. So here we are going to have RS and VS. VS with the polarity plus minus, and this is the source resistance. Source voltage and source resistance. Current due to the input will be II. This is beta. So input side is completed. Now you see here, this RC, one end of this resistor is connected to the collector. What about the other end? It is connected to the ground. Where is the ground? Here. Fine. So what I can do is I can just flip the RC. The second terminal goes to the ground. Fine. So here RC, when I flip the second terminal, this terminal goes to the common point, common wire. Okay. And what else is there? Now, since C2 is shorted, okay, we have to also consider RL here. So, did you notice one thing here? There are two current components, DC and AC. When we look at the circuit, we don't realize why this RC is appearing here or what is the job of RL. But when we draw the AC equivalent circuit, meaning when I connect a AC signal here, okay, the circuit will resemble like this for AC signal. And you can make out something interesting here, that is RC and RL becomes parallel for AC signal. See, when I short this to ground, okay, the other terminal is connected to ground. So I am flipping it over here. So you see RC and RL act as a parallel combination for AC signal. That's the point to be noted from equivalent circuits. So output is plus and minus of V naught. I think we have completed all the terms. Now to simplify further, let us mark this point as 1 and 1 prime, and this as 2 and 2 prime. Okay, now we'll start with the analysis. So when I look from this end, okay, so I'm going to see some impedance, some resistance, and that is what is labeled or specified as Zi. So you see here, when I look from this terminal 1 and 1 prime, I get to see some resistance. And what is that resistance? So you see here, it is R dash, okay, sorry, R prime in parallel with beta plus 1 Re. See, these two resistors are in parallel. How can we make out the two resistors in a parallel? Whenever current entering into the circuit, okay, they get separated out. Then we say it is in parallel. When the same current passes through the elements, we say they are in series. Simple test. See here, current has started from here. Why the current will start passing? Because the circuit is complete and there is a signal source. So current is coming out of from here. It has reached here. Now there are two parts, two ways to go. And definitely, since the circuit is complete, they will follow both the paths. Fine. So you see here, it is a parallel combination of R prime. What is R prime? It is R1 in parallel with R2. See, some textbook, they write it as R1, R2, and beta plus 1 times Re. But then the circuit becomes complicated. So let us simplify it. Let us mark this as R prime. What is R prime? R1 in parallel with R2. What is R1, R2? Are these biasing resistors, typically 39 and 4.7K ohms. So now, as I said, this value of beta, okay, is typically 100. And if I take 1 plus beta, it is 101. So near about equal. So I can write this as Zi equals to R prime in parallel with beta Re. Fine. Now, this is about the input impedance. So there's nothing to by heart here. You have to understand, you have to follow this concept. Now, next is we have to calculate the output impedance. The output impedance is given as denoted as Z naught. The difference between impedance and the resistance is that resistance is a purely a real term. There is no phase deviation. In impedance, we have this the inductive and capacitive component. But here right now, we don't have any such components, inductive and capacitive effect. So we can also call them as input resistance and output resistance. Fine. Now, to calculate Z naught, remember, this is the most important. To calculate Z naught, we have to open circuit the load. There are again two conditions to be followed. We have to open circuit the load, meaning take out from the circuit, And second, so if I take out the RL from the circuit, that means RL is infinite, heavy amount of resistance, open circuit. Okay, just remember, open circuit meaning taking it out. And second, we need to short circuit the source. What is the source? This excitation signal, Vs. So we have to short Vs. That means mathematically Vs equals to 0. When Vs equals to 0, if the voltage itself is 0, there won't be any current. No question of current, no. So current IB, because of this reason, current IB will be 0. And since IB is 0, here is this is the IB. You see IB is getting reflected here as a beta IB, output current. So beta IB term will also becomes 0. That is IC equals to beta times IB is also 0. So when I calculate the output impedance, this circuit will not come into picture. This component will not come into picture. And I am looking from here. I have taken out RL. The first condition, open circuit the load, take out the load from the circuit, and you look from here. So what you see when you look from here, you just see RC is in parallel with R0. Fine. So Z0 is what? RC, or I can say R0 in parallel with RC. Now, if R0 is very much greater as compared to 10 times RC, okay, then we can simply write Z0 equals to RC. We need not actually solve this parallel combination. Why? RC is typically, 4.7K, and R0 is very high value. Even if it is say 50K, this is 10 times more. So I can take it as roughly 4.7. If you solve, it will be around 4.5. So it doesn't make much of a difference, because there itself there is some tolerances with the resistors. Okay, these 2 points are clear. We have computed input impedance. We have computed output impedance. See, in the exams, some of the students, they simply by heart this. Zi equals to R prime in parallel beta R. There's nothing to by heart. Analyze the circuit, because this is, I'm just taking one case, voltage divider biasing. Then there is fixed bias, then there's collector to base bias, then there's collector to base bias with the emitter resistor. So all these cases, if you understand the concept, you can simply easily apply it. Otherwise, the things become difficult if you sit to by heart. Try to understand this, okay? So now, as we all know, there are 4 parameters to be considered. One is input impedance, output impedance, voltage gain, and current gain. These 2 we have found out. Fine. Now next, we will try to find out the value of voltage gain. Voltage gain. In simplest word, voltage gain, which is denoted as A subscript V, is a ratio of V0 by Vi. Fine. V0 is the voltage which is appearing here. We have marked. Okay, V0. From this 2 and 2 prime, when I look here, there's the voltage, and this is the input voltage at Vi. Okay, at terminals 1 and 1 dash. Now first, let us calculate what is V0. V0 is the output voltage. We always remember voltage is nothing but I into R. So if I want to calculate output voltage, I have to check out what is output current and output resistance. So in this case, voltage is measured across these 2 points, C, V0. So voltage across is always the same. So we have to check out how much is the current passing through this load resistor. So output will be I0, okay, and current IC flows in this direction. This is the same current, but the polarities, because of this notation, plus and minus, we say the current passes in this direction, I0. Fine. Small, not capital. So I can write this as minus of I0 into RL. V equals to IR. Fine. Now, Using a current divider rule, I can calculate what is I naught. I need to check out what is I naught. Okay, I naught is the current passing through this load resistor. What I know right now is the value of IC here. This is the current IC. So there are two paths. See here, I naught passes in this direction. Okay, and IC here. So we can say, if I want to check out the current here, I naught, we have to consider how much current will pass to this network. Fine. Since they are in parallel, there will be current division, and for which we are going to use current divider rule. Just like voltage division, we have current division. So it is minus of IC. So here it is R naught in parallel with RC. And what is the overall resistance? R naught parallel with RC in series in RL. Total resistance. See, it is R naught R naught in parallel with RC and R naught in parallel with RC plus RL. See, again I'm explaining this. Total resistance is what here in the output circuit. R naught in parallel with RC plus RL. Okay, this is total resistance, and we need to check out what is the I naught. So for checking the I naught, we have to take this combination as a numerator, a current division rule, into this RL. Okay, now IC can be written as beta IB, and this term R naught in parallel with RC, and here it is, I'll not miss out the steps here, RC plus RL into RL. See here, we have current division. Okay, so this is R naught and this is RC here and this is RL. What we are interested in finding the value of I naught. So I naught expressed in terms of IC. Okay, so now if R naught, for this condition, if R naught is greater than or equal to 10 times RC, we can neglect R naught. Fine. So this equation reduces to minus beta IB RC upon RC plus RL into RL. Okay. Now, typically the value of RL is greater as compared to RC. Most of the time, this condition is not satisfied. Very much greater meaning RL should be, greater or equal to 10 times RC. Typically, the value of RC is 2.2 kilo ohms and RL is 5 kilo ohms or 10 kilo ohms. So this normally this condition is not satisfied, but from theoretical point of view, we'll say that RL is very much greater as compared to RC. So minus beta IB RC. So as I said, like RL is greater than RC, we'll simply take this as RL into RL. So RL gets cancelled, and what we get is V naught equals to minus of beta IB into RC. So we have just computed half part of the voltage gain. Okay. Now, To obtain the, see, we are trying to find out the gain. It is V naught by Vi, and V naught value we have obtained it as minus of beta IB RC, minus of beta IB and RC. Fine. Now, what about VI? VI will be, so to calculate the voltage, input voltage is to your left hand side. Okay, VI, whatever the voltage that appear here will be in parallel or will be same as the voltage drop across this terminal. Fine. So we can check out what is the voltage getting dropped in this part of the circuit across this resistor. And what will be that? It will be simply, as I said, voltage is nothing but I into R. Resistance value is beta plus 1 in bracket into RE into current. Current is how much? IB. Fine. So that will give me a voltage drop across this resistor. So let me write it here. So input will be current IB into beta plus 1 into RE. This is what? A resistor. This is the current. Fine. Now let us take the ratio. V naught by Vi, and V naught is what? Minus beta IB into RC divided by Vi is IB dot. Again, beta plus 1 will be as good as beta into RE. So IB gets cancelled, beta gets cancelled. So the voltage gain is minus RC by RE. This is the analysis what we have done for AC equivalent circuit. Now what is the significance of this simple expression? Okay, one more thing. Even if I talk about, this is what we are talking about, the voltage divider biasing, isn't it? If I talk about the fixed bias, even for fixed bias, the voltage gain will be the same. Let me write here. This is what we obtain is for voltage divider biasing. For fixed bias, the voltage gain is again the same, RC by RE. Now tell me, what is the voltage gain? It is the amount by which we amplify the output signal with respect to input signal. Okay, but now look at this expression of voltage gain. Is there any current term here? No. Is there any voltage term? No. That means what? You can control your voltage gain, the output, by changing the value of RC. We cannot change the value of RE. Okay, RE is 26 millivolts by IE. So that design, we have to change the entire current and so on. See, what is RE? RE is 26 millivolts by IE. Okay, capital. So it is a DC current. We have to get the DC analysis. See, try to understand this. The equation, tells you so many things. Simple voltage gain. If this is the input, since because of this negative sign, I've said like negative meaning it is not less than timeline or time scale. It is the signal is amplified in the opposite direction. That is the meaning of this minus. Okay. So voltage gain, you can make out the signal has been amplified. Who is amplifying that? Look at this, RC. And what is RC? By changing this value of RC here, this simple resistor, I can control the voltage gain of the circuit. I hope this is clear. So when you actually, it is expected that we'll be doing practicals in the month of December. So that time we can simply check out this. First you connect 2 kilo ohms, check out the output, and then you connect say 5 kilo ohms and then check out the output. Now many times students get confused, like output is taken across the load resistor. By changing RC, how can I'm getting the amplification? That to AC. We are getting amplification because look at this AC equivalent circuit. In case of AC equivalent circuit, this RC comes in parallel with your load resistance. Fine. So I hope this part is clear. So we have completed the voltage gain as well. Now check out the current gain. Current gain is output current upon input current. Output current is minus, what is the value written? Minus beta IB minus beta IB, and input current is simply IB. This gets cancelled. So current gain is minus of beta. So let me write all the four formulas again. Input impedance, output impedance, voltage gain, and current gain. Current gain is minus of beta, voltage gain is minus of RC by RE. Then the input impedance is beta RE in parallel with R prime, and Z naught is typically RC. So these are the equations. Next, now we will solve one problem based on the analysis of BJT amplifier circuit with voltage divider bias. Okay, and we shall use the RE model as the equivalent model of transistor. So in this, we have to determine the dynamic emitter resistance. Now you see here, this RE term is appearing. So we have to calculate this RE first, then only we can proceed. And to calculate this RE, we have to draw the DC equivalent circuit. Why? Because RE is given as 26 millivolts by IE, and this IE is the DC current. All this while we are doing AC analysis, but this IE is demanding us to go for DC equivalent circuit. Fine. So let us start with our numerical. I'll not explain all the steps again because we have done it thoroughly. I'll straight away start with the problem. Okay, I'll explain you the practical importance of this circuit. Your diagrams has to be neat and clear. Fine. Here we have the capacitor. As I said, we have to always encircle the transistor, and we have to mention the four things here: symbol, NPN, beta value, and the serial number, says CL100. And this is the output. So output is taken here, V naught, and then VCC is given as 16 volts. Let us mark this as R1. The value is 39 kilo ohms. This is 1 microfarad. This is 1 microfarad. This is typically 10 microfarad. See, nowhere in the equation this value of C was appearing, so it doesn't make a difference. But then, as an electronic engineering student, you should at least know the design of a simple amplifier. Kilo ohms, this is denoted as R2, and input signal is applied here. We'll not write that VS, RS, that stuff will simplify. Okay, so this completes our circuit and the ground connection. Now this is the network in which you can see, I have missed out something. Yes, the value of RC is 3.9 kilo ohms. Okay, yeah, I also missed out this RE is 1.2 kilo ohms. Now this is typical amplifier circuit, 3.9. Okay, now in this circuit you see VCC is 16, R1 is 39K, R2 is 4.7 kilo ohms, RC is 3.9 kilo ohms, RE is 1.2 kilo ohms. You can see capacitor C1, C2. I have not specified. Let me specify C1, C2, and C3 is 10 microfarad. Beta, let us consider it as 100. Okay, and R naught is also given is 50 kilo ohms, and uh, this is connected in common emitter configuration. So output impedance will not be infinite in common base when the slope is flat. Okay, when the slope is zero, the resistance is infinite. But here we have some kind of resistance, but it is very large. 50 kilo ohms is a very big value. And what we are asked to find here is the same thing, input impedance. So the problem will be something like this. Determine input impedance, output impedance, voltage gain, and the current gain from the given network. Network meaning circuit. Fine. Now, whenever you have this RO term and beta term, they will not specify whether it's a using hybrid model or RE model. Now there is a catch here. Whenever you come across that beta term and R naught term, directly without wasting time, go for RE model. If it is a hybrid model, they will specify all those values, HFE, HRE, HOE, and so on, and HRE. Fine. See, in the exams, say a problem is asked, determine input impedance, output impedance, voltage gain, and current gain for the given network, full stop. Now, sometimes the students in problem like, are we supposed to follow hybrid parameters or RE model? Look at the figure. Nothing is mentioned about the hybrid parameters. So naturally it is a case of RE model. The moment RE model comes into picture, we have to find out the current. Remember this thing. In the hybrid model, you put up the formula, substitute the values, get the answer. In case of RE model, you have to do the DC analysis. We have to check out the current. Okay. So in order to calculate the dynamic resistance RE, I'm starting with the solution part. RE. Okay, we need to calculate RE because the formula is RE is 26 millivolts divided by capital IE, meaning it is a DC value, direct. So to find out IE, we have to carry out DC analysis. I'll explain what is DC analysis now. And in case of DC, the reactance offered by the capacitor, this is the reactance. In simple words, the resistance offered by the capacitor is reactance. XC is 1 upon 2 pi FC. Fine. When we talk about the DC signal, the frequency is 0. If I substitute that F here, what I get is XC equals to infinite. A very high resistance will be offered to the DC signal. So in simple words, I have to disconnect the capacitors, has no role to play as far as DC signal is concerned. Previously for AC signals, you remember whenever we applied AC signal, we used to short the capacitors. We consider it as a good conductor, as good as wire. But now here we have to take out the capacitors from the circuit. So ultimately what will be left? We will be left with this diagram. For DC analysis, take out AC signals and take out the capacitors. So we will be left with VCC, R1, R2, RC, and RE. R1, R2, RC, RE. And circle the transistor and at least give the notation Q. Fine. Now, here in first semester, you might have solved the numericals based on voltage divider biasing. So we're going to use the same technique here. There are two ways to find. Either I can go for a detailed method or I can go for a Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Now here we are having voltage division. Who is dividing the voltage? These two resistors, R1 and R2. Fine. So now what we can do is we can consider this R1 and R2, okay, as a Thevenin resistor which is connected in parallel to this amplifier. Let us make this thing very simple. Two resistors are connected in parallel with this amplifier. Fine. So let us consider this as a load. This is the load for R1 in parallel to R2, and we can further simplify this circuit as using Thevenin's equivalent VTH. Okay, and here we have the two resistors RC and RE, NPN transistor. Okay, so here we are applying VCC equal to 16 volts. Now, how do we calculate VTH? And mark this as RTH. So VTH, using the voltage divider rule, it will be R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VCC, and RTH will be equal to R1 in parallel with R2. So R1 in parallel with R2 will be R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. See here, R1 and R2 I'm taking as RTH, and the voltage here I'm marking as VTH. Fine. So with this understanding, we get VTH and RTH as these values are known to you all. So when you solve this, you get answers 1.72 volts, and RTH is 4.194 4.194 kilo ohms. Now we can calculate the current IE. Why IE? Because the formula for RE is 26 millivolts by IE. So the entire exercise we are doing to calculate the current IE. Let us mark the currents here. The current entering will be IB. Now see the notations, capital IE, and here it is IC. Fine. Now if I apply the KVL, applying the KVL, Kirchhoff voltage law, in input loop, there are two loops here. This is the input loop and this is the output loop. Fine. For input loop, the total voltage VTH, the voltage what I apply here, fine, this is the source voltage VTH. Whatever I am applying here will get drop across this resistor, across base emitter junction, and across this. Followed. So if this is say 2 volt, this is 0.7, and this is say 1.3. So total voltage is 2 plus 3, 4, 5. So this VTH has to be 5 volt. So that in other words, if I take 5 volts here, depending upon the design, okay, depending upon the RTH and RE, this 5 volt will get distributed across these three components, RTH, VP, and RE. Fine. Now we'll apply the VTH at the same color. It will be current passing through is, this is IB. So the voltage drop across this resistor will be IB into RTH minus of VBE minus of IE into RE. Okay. Now what is IE? IE is IB plus IC. From here, both the IB current and the IC current, they will add up and will be available here. Okay. So I can write it as IB and IC as beta IB. So let us take 1 plus beta, and IB is the common term. Okay. So now we can write this expression as VTH minus IB RTH minus VBE minus beta plus 1 times RE into IB equal to 0. So instead of IE, I'm using the term 1 plus beta close the bracket into IB. So rearranging the equation, because we are interested in finding the current IE. So IB, what we get is a VTH minus VBE divided by RTH plus beta plus 1 and 1.2 kilo ohms. Okay, so this will get me the value of IB. VBE for silicon is 0.7. So IB is 8.134 microamperes. Remember, the base current has to be always in terms of micro. If you're getting milli, that means somewhere down the line you have made a mistake. It has to be always micro. And what we're interested in finding, IE. So let us calculate IC. IC is beta times IB. Beta is mentioned as 100 into 8.134 microamperes. So the answer is 1, 2. So it will be 813.4 microamperes. And what we are interested is finding IE. IE is how much? IB plus IC. This is IC. Okay. So if we add them up, okay, the answer is 0.821 milliamperes. Remember, the current IC is as good as IE, and it is always in terms of milliamperes. Remember this. Fine. Now, with this information, we can calculate the dynamic emitter resistance. Dynamic emitter resistance RE equals to 26 millivolts divided by IE. So it is 26 millivolts. RE is 0. Answer is 31.6 ohms. So see, I did start with this circuit and we drew the equivalent AC equivalent circuit. Okay, I'm not going to details again for this particular circuit. Let us borrow the formulae. Okay, in order to calculate, the input impedance and the output impedance, input impedance and output impedance, we have to carry out the analysis using AC equivalent circuit. Fine. And to obtain the AC equivalent circuit, what we need to do, we have to short the DC voltages to ground, and what? We have to short all the capacitors. If we do these two things, we get the AC equivalent circuit. Fine. And we have to also short the bypass capacitor. Which is the bypass capacitor? Capacitor which is connected across the emitter resistor. Fine. So RE also has to be short circuit. I will directly draw the AC equivalent circuit. Okay. Because of short of time, let me directly draw the AC equivalent circuit. RC, which is 3.9 kilo ohms. I will upload this presentation today itself. Make sure that you go through all these presentations. Kilo ohms and 4.7 kilo ohms, and this is 39 kilo ohms. I hope people know what is 4.7 kilo ohm, what is 39 kilo ohms. It's from the Here, problem statement 39 is R1. So when I connect this to a ground, I can flip it down, isn't it? So what you will observe, R1 parallel with R2. Fine. So R1 parallel with R2. So this is R1, this is R2, and this is RC. I mentioned. Fine. Input is applied here, and now see the notations. Vi plus minus. You see the resistors 4.7 kilo ohms and 39 kilo ohms are connected in parallel. So instead of these two resistors, we will have a single resistance, which will make our life easier. So instead of R1 and R2 in parallel, we'll use R dash. R dash is what? 4.7 K in parallel with 39 kilo ohms, and what we get is 4.194 kilo ohms, and this is nothing but Thevenin's resistance. Now, in the next step, replace the transistor by its equivalent RE model, because we need to calculate the input and output impedance. And for this purpose, we must have the equivalent circuit of this transistor. Where is the transistors? This is the transistor. Fine. And we have to draw the RE model of this transistor. We have to fit that model into this circuit. So when I try to do so, so now the step what we are going to perform is we are going to replace the transistor by the equivalent RE model. Fine. So we have the RE model as a resistor, okay, a current dependent source, and RO. This is beta plus 1 into RE. Here this is beta into IB. The current going into the resistor is IB, and the current going into this is IC. IC is beta times IB. Fine. This is simply a transistor. This is simple transistor model. But then we have to have a resistance R dash, which is nothing but RTH, in nothing but R1 parallel with R2. Okay. And here we have a resistor RC of value 3.9 kilo ohms. So mark this as plus, this as minus, and we are taking the output voltage at these two terminals. Current is I naught. Anything else I left? Okay. Vi plus minus Vi. For understanding, we'll mark this as 1. This is 1 prime. The same way what we've done for the derivation. Now in this circuit, we have replaced the transistor by its equivalent RE model. Fine. So this is equivalent RE model for transistor, and these are the RC resistors and the R1, R2. So now we will calculate the input impedance. It is the impedance seen from terminal 1 and 1 dash. So what it is, input impedance. Remember, input meaning left hand side, output meaning right hand side, impedance meaning resistance. So input impedance Zi, we already derived. The value is R prime beta plus 1 times Re, and R dash value is 4.194 kilo ohms, and beta plus 1 Re is 3.19 kilo ohms. We know all these two values, so we can calculate the value of. Okay, another condition, whenever this parallel combination, we can check if R dash is greater or equal to 10 times beta plus 1 times Re. In this case, this condition is not satisfied. So this is not true. Why we go for this condition? If like we are having 1K in parallel with 1K, the answer is 0.5K. Okay. 10K in parallel with 1K, the answer is near about 1K. 100K in parallel with 1K, the answer will be near about to 1K. So it is 10 times. It has to be 10 times more. So we have to check this content. This is not true. So we'll proceed and calculate Zi. So Zi in this case will be R prime R dash beta plus 1 in bracket into Re divided by R dash plus in bracket beta plus 1 Re. So when you substitute the values, you get the answer as 1.811 kilo ohms. So we have completed the input impedance. Now we will proceed to calculate the output impedance. Output impedance. Now to calculate the output impedance, what is the output impedance? First, we have to check out where is the output. Here, this is the output. So we have to mark this 2 and 2 dash, and we have to look into the circuit. Fine. So here, there is no RL. So it is 2 and 2 prime. I just made a mistake here. So I love this. So when I look from here, the two things to be considered. One is take out the RL from the circuit. Anyway, there is no RL for a given circuit, so there's not an issue. Secondly, you have to set Vi equals to 0. When you make Vi 0, this current becomes 0. This current is getting reflected here, so this term also becomes 0. So what you're left with? You're just left with R naught in parallel with RC. Fine. So the output impedance Z naught will be R naught in parallel with 3.9 kilo ohms. Fine. R naught is given in the problem statement as 50 kilo ohms. And check out if R naught is greater or equal to 10 times RC. This is RC, okay? R naught is 50, RC is 3.9K. So in this case, this condition is true. If it is true, we can neglect R naught, which is higher side. So simply you can write Z naught equals to 3.9 kilo ohms. Okay. So we have calculated the input impedance Zi. Okay. Previous slide equals to 1.811 kilo ohms. Output impedance as 3.9 kilo ohms. And now we have to calculate the voltage gain. The voltage gain is denoted as AV, which is minus of RC by RE. RC is how much? Minus 3.9 kilo ohms. Again, why minus sign? Because the signal is out of phase. When the input is small, output is amplified in the opposite direction. This is mathematically the negative of it. Fine. RE, we have got it as 31.6 ohms, not kilo. It is simply ohms. So you calculate the value, how much it is, and then this is the third part, and fourth part is the current gain. Current gain is denoted as AI. It is minus of HFE or minus of beta, or it is minus of 100.